In a year of complete unpredictability, we have somehow ended with the two most consistent teams fighting it out in the final. Somehow, we have ended up in the same situation as the last 2 years. The top two teams on the ladder make the grand final for the third year running. So now all we have is one question running through our minds for the final. Will Shreyas Iyer's back be strong enough to carry the team on his shoulders for one final game, or will Hazlewood and Sharma steam through the order again? So let's quickly talk about Punjab's game, and then after that I want to discuss who I think will win the final. So while you're listening to this section, let me know in the comments who is your pick for the final and what is your reasoning for it. And while you're there, you may as well smack the subscribe button. So I guess off the bat, I just have to say, what a game. Mumbai gave Punjab an absolute run for their money. Actually, what am I saying? More than a run from their money. They pretty much at one point had won the game, and if it wasn't for Iyer delivering once again with probably one of the best 50s you will ever see, they would have lost that game. But this 50 was one of the best 50s you'll see. I feel like it is one of the only 50s that you'll hear about in years to come. It almost reminds me of Kohli's 82 against Pakistan. Obviously, his was probably on a bigger stage, a little more important. But when it just comes to clutching up, when your team is absolutely down and out through a combination of technique, hard running, well-thought batting, and just brutal hitting. There's not too many half centuries in the history of the game that just jumps to mind that you can remember off the top of your head, but I feel like this innings really is one of those. Now, I do want to stop and talk about Shreyas because he has just become this unstoppable force over the last few years. I mean, I feel like year on year, you can just see his game developing not only as a player, but as a captain, and at a rapid rate as well. Now, I'm talking more in the sense of his white ball game, but I feel like it also applies to red ball. I mean, in the most recent Ranji Trophy, he averaged almost 70 and scored a few tons as well with less innings than everyone else. But I just think it's insane that a player that has dealt with so many setbacks. Obviously, he's got his back injury, which is a bit of an ongoing injury. It kind of has flared up a few times. He's had spasms and all of that. But to kind of having to take time away from cricket, coming back for a bit, having to have games off, to do all of this and have such a strong return, or rather not have any of his form kind of tail off, is just unbelievable. And then along with that, since March last year, he has also managed to pretty much win every domestic title under the sun. I mean, let me read this correctly, but he won the 23-24 Ranji Trophy. He won the 24-25 Irani Cup. He won the 24-25 Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. And then, of course, he was the second highest run scorer in the most recent Champions Trophy, which they won. Now, I'm sure most of you also saw the graphics after the Punjab Mumbai game, but as a T20 domestic captain, he also got Delhi to their first ever playoffs in 7 seasons. Then the season after that, he got them to their first ever final. Then when he was at Knight Riders, his first season as captain, he won the title for them for the first time in 10 years. And now, for Punjab, as a captain, he is taking them to their first final in 11 seasons. Now, apologies for the stat dump. That was a lot of words and numbers, but I honestly don't know what to make of this information. I think, first of all, you can definitely attribute a little bit of luck to it. I mean, it's not like you're a one-man team, although Iyer is doing his absolute best job of convincing me otherwise. But jokes aside, obviously, to win a title, to win a trophy, you have to have a good squad around you. So, sure, there is a little bit of luck involved. But at the same time, I think you would be absolutely stupid to say Iyer isn't a big part of that happening as well. It's not just like he happens to be right place, right time. He is pretty much leading the run scoring for every team that he is playing in. Plus, he is captaining most of them. For me, he is just at the absolute peak of his game at the moment, pretty much in all 3 formats. And yeah, he would be an absolute shoo-in for captain in white ball once Rohit and Kohli eventually finish off. And I am actually surprised he isn't in the test squad for England. I know he does have a bit of a reputation about not coping much against the short ball, and obviously he doesn't have that much experience outside Asia, but sometimes I think that's a bit of a dumb credential. Similar to when you finish uni and you want to go get a job in your relevant field, but every job that you're going for says you need experience to get that job, but you can't get experience because you can't get a job. I feel like that's almost the same when it comes to stigma of experience of playing outside your natural conditions. Sure, Iyer hasn't played that much outside of Asia, but if he's not going to get picked, he's not going to get experience outside Asia. He's doing absolutely everything on his behalf to be in the side, but then he's got this stigma around him. He can't really face the short ball. he doesn't have much experience outside Asia. Like, he can't get more experience if you don't pick him. It kind of reminds me of Khawaja's case. Khawaja went years without getting picked in England because of this stigma, and then as soon as he was picked, he scored a ton in his first game. Look, I think there is definitely some truth to it, but at the same time, I feel like people sometimes dig a little too deep into it. And at this rate, I can't see how Iyer doesn't make it into all three formats in the near future. Anyway, do I think Punjab can go all the way? Long story short, I'm gonna have to say no, but I'm actually not really sure. I am really undivided on this, but I do just feel that Bengaluru are just on such a roll at the moment that they're gonna be hard to beat. They look like such a good all-rounded team at the moment, which I'll touch on when I talk about Bengaluru by themselves, but I just feel that Punjab do have a few gaps in their team that can be exposed. Obviously, we saw this the other day when their batters just got absolutely steamrolled through. But I think their bowling actually leaves a little out there to be desired as well. I think there's been a lot of loose stuff, especially kind of after the opening bowlers, that first change, end of the power play, outside of the power play. And teams like Bengaluru, when they're set up, when they have a player like Kohli that can bat whatever kind of innings you need and such a strong middle order, they can really get on a roll and get away with it. So I think if Punjab are to win, they're going to have to do it by trying to get wickets early or a few in the space of an over or two. I think, like I said, Bengaluru have such a strong top six. Kohli knows how to play his role perfectly. The middle order is so strong when it comes to running hard, being able to hit boundaries, that I feel like if they don't break open the innings with wickets or just really time down for an over or two, I think it could get a little bit out of hand. Similar to the way Mumbai batted, I thought they did really well to get 200, and I think they obviously lost it with the ball, but the runs are there to be scored, and it has happened this season. In terms of the batting, I think it's pretty easy to just look back a couple of days ago and say, well, there's obviously holes there. They can get bowled out pretty cheaply. If Iyer goes pretty early on, then they're in a lot of trouble, which, yes, I guess is all true, but I think actually getting bowled out for 100 is probably the best thing that could have happened to them. I think it's almost better than getting bowled out for 160 or 170, because then you can kind of create some excuses. Oh, if this went slightly differently, we could have been better. But getting absolutely bashed, getting rolled for 100, I think is such a kick in the guts that there's no chance that the Punjab batters are going to go out there underprepared. They're going to be fully aware of what happened to them just a few days ago, and I think they're going to come out flying again. Although I do say that, I think the key players for Punjab will be important. Inglis, Iyer, etc. are going to need to score runs. Continuing on with that train of thought, I think in terms of Bengaluru, they just need to keep on doing what they're doing. I mean, they've lost 1 in their last 7. It seems like they've got more cohesion than ever. Their team chemistry, the way they're playing, they seem to almost be building up towards this final. I mean, Hazelwood opening the bowling is an absolute cheat code. Apart from Bumrah, he is probably the first bowler I would have in my team. On those kind of decks where there's runs to be scored, having an economical bowler like Hazelwood, like Bumrah, with also the ability to take wickets is so valuable. And yeah, I think he's obviously been an instrumental part of their season, and if they are to win, I think Hazelwood will be putting in a shift. I think the real key to victory is pretty obvious. You do your absolute best to stifle the middle order, to stifle the top order, to put pressure on those batsmen, which then forces Iyer, when he comes in, to score runs and try hit out. In saying that though, we did see Inglis play a pretty instrumental role in countering Bumrah. I mean, Bumrah was going at what, 6 and over pretty much all season, which is absolutely absurd. But then Inglis did come out and have a crack at him early on and was quite successful in doing so, which set a platform for Punjab to chase. So I think Inglis is a very good chance at coming out and having a crack at Hazelwood. Obviously, they've had experience being in the international side together, so I wouldn't be surprised if Inglis does come out and go on the attack, especially at Hazelwood. But then it also does go back to risk versus reward, because if Inglis does go out and try attack the bowlers, then sure, we might see what we saw in Mumbai, but then the counter is we might then just have a repeat of a couple of days ago when they got bowled out for 100. So it's a very interesting game. And I'm really interested to see the tactics of Punjab, whether they're going to attack early or they're going to really consolidate early and make sure they get a full inning. So I guess after all that, I do have to say I'm going to have to side with Bengaluru. But in saying that, I do feel like it could just go both ways. It really is a toss of the coin. I just think Punjab as a whole have to do so many things right to win. They almost have to play a perfect game. Whereas I see Bengaluru winning, even if a couple of their key players might have an off game. But look, at the end of the day, I'm going to be sitting here in 24 hours time, probably talking to you about Punjab winning by 150 runs. I got out for one, but all the other players managed to score 50s around him, and they just bowled out Bengaluru for 50 runs. I will see you in 24 hours. Get your comments in letting me know who you think will win, and subscribe if you haven't.